All right, we are live. Let's see who's here. Let us know in the chat if you're here for Moon Knight episode 3, A Night of Moon Knight. We're going to be talking about the episode. We're going to be talking about potential key issues that could be affected by the episode. We're going to be making predictions on what's to come, predictions on ties to the MCU. Taking note of the things that we noticed. And of course, you are able to join in the live chat and give your opinions, give your thoughts, things that you noticed that we may have missed. That would be greatly appreciated. We got Mark Spector Comics in the house. I'll say I definitely enjoyed it. We'll talk about a little bit more of that when our co-host, Mr. Bronzeville Comics himself, Jim, comes in. But first, let me give a little rundown of things on my end. I've got 2 giveaways right now, and I always like to mention these first just in case you didn't know about them. But 2 books right here that we're giving away. We've got this amazing, Web of Spider-Man number 100. This is part of my 100th video giveaway. So if you haven't watched our 100th video yet, I put it up on YouTube last week. So a couple videos back, you can go watch that video. And if you leave a comment on it telling me things you want to see on the channel in the future, you can win this book right here, Web of Spider-Man 100. I'm picking a winner tomorrow. So this is your last chance to enter. Don't miss out on that. And look at that. We got another giveaway, 7,000 followers over on Instagram. We're about 200 followers away. So we're getting very close to that goal. Make sure that you enter before it's too late. Those are the 2 giveaways I'm doing right now. And I've got one in the works, a bigger one. We're over 1,600 subscribers here on YouTube. I want to do something big for 2,000. I did a slab for 1,000 subscribers, so I'm probably gonna up the ante a little bit and do something, kind of along the same lines, a more expensive book. So if you're interested in that, definitely make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Stick around, and I'll let you know. And we got giveaways going all the time. So enough of that. Let's get into the topic at hand. Moon Knight episode 3. We got to bring Jim in here. He is the co-host for tonight. We're doing this together. For those of you who don't know, Jim and I have been going back and forth on each other's channels. I'm the odd number episodes. He's the even number episodes. So we're here this week, but next week we'll be on his channel. If you're not subscribed to him yet, you need to go do so. Bronzeville_comics. Everyone, give Jim a big welcome in the chat. Here he is.
Hey there. Hey, Joe. What's going
Jim,
on?
how you doing?
Outstanding.
You're looking fresh. You're looking fresh, right? Home from a social event, right?
Yeah, it was a school event. So we had to take care of that. And of course, there's no air conditioning in a school. So it's getting a little warm here in the Northeast. It's like spring has come out.
There we go. There we go. Awesome.
Joe, letting the sleeves go.
What's that?
You're letting the sleeves go? Bye.
Yeah, it's really hot in my house right now. The windows are closed, but because it was warm outside today. But I'm thinking with the cool breeze tonight, I'm hoping we can have a nice little window open night. We'll see if the temperature goes down low enough. But right. I just said I gotta give my an AC guy a call because it's getting warm. New house. I don't know what the previous owners were doing, how often they serviced it, so I want to get that service before I even.
Okay, so you have it
on. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. They're probably pretty busy like this week.
Yeah. Yes. But I'll give him a call. See when I can get something. Anyway, Moon Knight episode 3, continuation of the story. I believe the entire episode takes place in Egypt because we're left at the end of episode 2 with yes. Mark, Steven, Jake, third personality, who knows, waking up in Egypt on the floor of a hotel or something, looks to be drunk or hungover and kind of staring out the window, a little bit confused, disoriented, maybe not just because of the alcohol, but also because of a change of personality. And that's how episode 2 capped off. And then episode 3 entirely taking place in Egypt, other than, I guess, the beginning scene with Layla getting her passport so she can go to Egypt.
Right. And it was mostly told from the Mark Spector point of view.
Yes. Yeah. And I was actually really happy to see that. I thought that was, a really cool little aspect that, first episode was very clearly just Steven. We saw Steven. We got to hear Mark a little bit. We got to see a little bit of Mark in the Moon Knight suit, but this episode was kind of done opposite way. Almost all Mark, a little bit of Steven. And it seems like a third personality because of the beginning of the episode. Before we get into that, what's like your overall thoughts, out of 5 out of 10, whatever you want to do there?
I usually rate movies on 4-star scales. I'd say we're like at a 3.5 stars. For the series as a whole, I'm really enjoying it because it leaves you wanting more.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There are all these mysteries, both internally within the character and externally within what's going on with the Arthur Harrow character and the Egyptian gods, and how much, we're like bending reality. So, in general, Marvel's done a great job at these Disney Plus series of making it want you to come back without a forced cliffhanger at the end, which you all too often see on TV.
Absolutely. And the nice thing about it is I felt like the first 2 episodes were, they were just giving us the groundwork. And honestly, they, despite giving the groundwork, remained very exciting. This was a little bit more, development of these issues that are coming up. Obviously, we knew like Arthur Harrow was an issue, but we're really seeing things, kind of come to fruition with what he's trying to do and his manipulative personality, talking with the other avatars and kind of ganging up against Khonshu / Mark / Steven / third personality. I thought it was a really important episode. I will say I did like the first 2 episodes better than this one. This one kind of jumped around a little bit more. And for that reason, I didn't think it was as like flowy, but it's still, I would say, still highly rated. I talked last night on Moonlit Show. I gave the first episode a 4-star, the second episode a 4.5. I would probably go back to like I do like a 3.75. Definitely better than that 3.5, but kind of just a hair below the first episode as far as what I thought about it. And I have a lot of hope going forward. I think these middle 2 episodes are going to be a little bit more of a lull, and then we're going to get hit in the face in the 5th and 6th.
Actually, I'm thinking about it because they're all different rating scales, 10 points, 4 points, 5 points. We should be doing like a 10-point scale.
Yeah.
Where it's 10, 9, 9, 9, 8, 9, 6, 9, 4, 9, 2, 9, 8, 5, 8.
And page quality. Maybe page quality can be the soundtrack for the episode. Yeah. So in that case, I would probably give
1.8.
This episode would be I'll call it a 9.4, a very respectable grade, but definitely not as good as the, let's say, 9.6 and 9.8 for the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, and I might not go 9.8 just yet. It's like might have been a couple of little.
For me, episode 2 was a 9.8. Episode 2 was that 9.8. But of course, that's out of 10. There is room for improvement still on that.
The 9.9
lenticular book, right? All right, so let's talk about the beginning of the episode. The third personality. You want to talk a little bit on that?
Yeah, I definitely, as I was thinking about it and looking at the groundwork that's been laid in the previous episodes, the one biggest hint to me is the fact that he had asked the woman that worked in the gift shop at the museum out on a date.
Yes, absolutely.
Obviously, Steven didn't ask her out because he was completely confused. And would Mark's married? Would he have, asked a woman out on a date? It, seems like he's more in trying to do all his mercenary stuff and also protect Layla.
Yeah, and I think that Mark would not have done that. I think that the third personality, judging by what we've seen, we saw that part, and then we also know that Mark and obviously Steven, neither of those two were killing all these people that were getting killed. When we see Mark black out, he thinks it was Steven, and Steven's like, I didn't do this. Why are you going on this killing spree? And it seems like this third personality is a wild card. You know, whether he's, you know, asking this girl out on a date or whatever, or, you know, killing guys with knives in Egypt. They when he gets out of the taxi and sees those guys, they seem like really afraid of him. You know,
Right.
certainly more afraid than they were of the Mark Spector version. So I'm thinking that this character might be really, really crazy.
And in the first couple of episodes, a lot of times they would use these kind of triptych images where I think it was episode 2 when he first gets up and he's looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
And there's mirrors on either side of him. So it's like, you know, you see you see him as Steven, and then you see 2 reflections.
Right. Right. And I think I might be wrong about this, but I think only one of them would move separately than him that we saw so far. But that might change.
Right.
I'd love to see him standing in like a corner mirror, just arguing, all 3 of them, kind of like the Spidey meme of them pointing at each other.
Just watched that last night.
Yeah. I gotta. I'd like to watch it again.
The Blu-ray came out, so I had pre-ordered that. So it was delivered yesterday, and watched it with the kids.
Cool. Yeah. So, you know, that whole thing progresses with, you know, the guy falls off the cliff, and, you know, all that. Then there's the trial, the kind of the accusation of Harrow, and he seems to talk his way out of it very, very easily, which kind of shows like the power this guy has as far as manipulation. You know, the cult leader status that he's, you know, kind of portraying in this, and he still, even these avatars of these powerful gods, he's able to, you know, with a few words, dissuade any accusations against him, or they're just in cahoots with him.
Yeah, they could be his followers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't exactly know, and not all the Egyptian gods were present. What was it? 9 of them. They made the point. Stephen made the point of in the beginning of the first episode.
Yeah, and they're not all showing up. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought that scene was really cool. I like how the gods actually speak through. Since what I assume is that no one can see the gods except for their avatar. Even other avatars can't, so they're speaking through each other, which it makes sense. I think that was a good way to do that. And I like how he's shouting the whole time, where he's like, when he's accusing Harrow, he's like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." He's really making a big deal out of everything. Yeah, that scene was great. And then obviously they side with Harrow, and one of the avatars kind of pulls Mark aside and is like, "Hey, there's another way. You got to find this tomb," which I forgot the god or the pharaoh or whatever, but no, you have to find the some of the S. And then he looks into the black market. He's, you know, given the tip to look into the black market, and for being an item sold on the black market, he finds it incredibly easy, which makes me think that Layla, judging by what she said, she mentions that when they're like on the boat going to the guy's house, she mentions that that this guy's collection is the talk of the gossip of the antiquities dealers community, meaning that I think she is an antiquities dealer, and I think she probably does so on an illegal black market basis. That's a theory. Seems like
it was established that her father was an archaeologist, and they and he discovered the scarab.
Yeah, I got that vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there's a little bit more there.
Yeah.
You know, I think in terms of what's going on with her character.
Yes. It was clear to me in the second episode, judging by her actions, her stability in these like intense situations, that she, may not have been like full mercenary like Mark, but she was very capable. She was very, she has experience, she has skills, and we'll kind of see what that is as time goes on. And we saw more of that, a lot more of that in this episode when they were at Midnight Man's house, which he was never called Midnight Man.
Well, yeah, that's not unusual at all for the MCU.
Right, right. Just to be naming a character by real name Anton. Um, what do we think about that character going forward here? Are we going to see him again in the show, or was this just a one-time thing?
I have to think we're going to see him again.
Mm-hmm.
As we know, sadly, the actor who portrayed him died in a skiing accident just a few months ago.
Right. Like right after the wrap of filming.
Yeah. So obviously it filmed all the scenes, but we do that it was, tragic because he was how old?
Yeah.
40, early 40s, I believe.
He doesn't look 40, but possibly.
Gaspard Ulliel.
That's it.
There's 37.
37, yeah. And I really enjoyed his performance as a young Hannibal Lecter in Hannibal Rising. That's actually the first thing I'm a big Hannibal saga, the Silence of the Lamb movies. Big fan of those, and that one I think is a very underrated movie. It doesn't get as much love as the other three, or the television show, but it's pretty good in my opinion. That being said, yeah, he did really great in that role, and I didn't recognize the name initially, but when he passed away is when I kind of connected the dots there and realized that he played young Hannibal. But yeah, it's interesting because we see him riding away at the end of that scene, and Moon Knight throws one of his crescent-shaped, almost like boomerang kind of things.
Moonerangs?
Moonerangs. There we go. Trademark that. And it seems to hit him. We hear a noise of it hitting something, likely flesh, and we hear him, Midnight Man make a noise. Anton, whatever we're going to call him. So hit, but probably survives. I think we'll see him again in the next 3 episodes somewhere, whether he's working with Arthur, working for Arthur, or just kind of as his own person coming in. But I doubt we'll see him past this series because he passed away. I think that I don't think the character is going to stick around, and I don't really think he was meant to stick around anyway. He's not he's not like one of the big bads or anything like that.
Right.
So
I mean, and even if they, pragmatically, if they had planned to, they can just, pull another character from somewhere in the Moon Knight comics to be an adversary of some sort.
Right. Yeah. So that is brings us to the first book I want to mention, which is I believe that's Moon Knight Volume 1, number 3 is his first appearance.
Yeah. Just found one today.
Nice. Personally, I think that is not a book that I would go out and buy right now. Unless, obviously, if you get an under market price, that's one thing. If you just want to have it and keep it, you really want it right now, that's another thing. But if you're looking, to have it to flip or to use as investment, it's not the time to buy it. The character just showed up. He's probably going to be seen again, but I doubt it will spike the book any more than it already has. And, I think the hype is going to go down over time, and the character's probably not going to show back up again. So it's not something I personally would buy right now. Collect what you like, but
yeah, it's very easy to fall into this trap of grabbing, and we knew this character was coming for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I don't think the book and the character really have intrinsic value other than their appearance in the TV series here, and I don't think that'll really elevate
Right.
this particular character.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I could see this
other things
because
could.
the character does show up and Moon Knight keys are probably going to remain popular. I could see the book settling at like, you know, $8 to $10, maybe 12,
Yeah.
maybe 15 even. But I don't see it being a $20 to $25 book like I've seen it sell for multiple
No.
times. In the past 6 months, whatever. But yeah, just some food for thought. If you want it for your personal collection, you can probably wait and get it for a discount. That's just what I have to say about that.
Well, I also think a lot of, for the right price, a lot of Moon Knight books are being sold right now.
Oh, speaking of, I've got a Moon Knight book to show off. I'll wait till the end.
Oh, okay.
Some people have probably seen it already because I did post it in the what's it called, the thumbnail for my video, as well as the picture to promote the video on Instagram, because I'm really excited about it. But we'll get to that at the end. Let's continue with the episode. So they steal the stuff. They steal the I guess it's some kind of like part of the wrap, part of like the mummy wrap that has these constellations on it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not really. That's one thing that I felt like they didn't do a good job of explaining what that whole thing that they're looking for was. They're just like, oh yeah, here's the.
Let's turn the sky
mummy.
back 5,000 years and.
Right. So it was just like that kind of felt rushed, which that's kind of exactly what downgraded the episode for me. Like I said, it kind of jumped around and things like that. So yeah, that's my one complaint. Like I said, the episode was great. The action was great. The performances were great. It just, that one part was a little rushed.
And I had made a note. They made reference to Layla's father's murder.
Yes. Right. And Harrow specifically mentions Mr. Mark Spector. So, does he have something to do with that? He's a mercenary.
Yeah.
Totally possible. Or does he maybe know and hasn't told Layla? It could be that. Could be a lot of things. I personally think that there are some more connections that we're not seeing. That they purposely have not shown us yet.
Maybe Jake did it.
Maybe Jake did it. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Jake, the wild card personality, definitely. One thing that, like, this is something that popped into my head last night when I was on Michelle's channel talking about episode 2. I was thinking, one of the people on the panel made a comment that it seems like Mark and Harrow might have more of a history than we know. They both, Harrow, a former avatar of Khonshu, Mark, the current one, yada, 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 could be in some way, tethered, that we don't know. I was thinking, and this is something that popped into my mind, possibly Harrow at one point was a member of the Committee, a group that appears in the comic books, does a lot of ridding the world of monsters and werewolves and things like that, and specifically hires Moon Knight to stalk down and kill Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell. And it's possible that maybe Harrow was a member of that of the Committee at one point, and that's where they have some back history. Because if you think about Harrow's personality, ridding the world of evil, it kind of falls into the same category, no matter what the cost is, even doing it in a violent way like the Committee does.
Yeah, and so we were talking last week about the storage locker number 43.
Yes. And we didn't know what it was.
And I was watching, I forget whose channel it was. They pointed out that 43 was the number of issues that Werewolf by Night ran in the 70s. The last issue was 43. So does it signify that Mark Spector had something to do with the end of Jack Russell, Werewolf by Night?
Okay. Yeah, could be.
And there could be a connection there, that he's already taken care of Jack Russell, but that the curse still lingers, or he tried, and the curse still lingers and has moved on to someone else, and that's how they're going to proceed with the Halloween special or whatever they're going to do with Werewolf by Night in the future.
Yeah, I think that's very likely. I don't think we're going to see Jack Russell. We've already pretty much gotten confirmation that we're going to see Jake Gomez as Werewolf by Night. So I don't think we're going to see Jack Russell at all, except for maybe possibly like in a flashback kind of thing.
Flashback, yeah.
But right, I do think that this alludes. The fact that 43 was mentioned there, that might just be an Easter egg. It might not, specifically say that.
But why would you choose 43 rather than 32?
I agree. I don't know. Honestly, it could have just been a random number. You never know. But so many things in the Marvel universe, they don't do randomly, and sometimes it takes a while to figure out. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I think we're obviously gonna see Werewolf by Night, Jake Gomez. We'll find out if we see Jack Russell in the future as well, or get at least some backstory on that. All right, so they turn back the stars, all that stuff happens. The ending of the episode kind of like really, it got me. It left me like really wanting more, which that's what they want to do. They want you to, like I did last night, stay up until 4 a.m. watching a Disney Plus show because I really want to see the episode as it came out.
Yeah, there might be something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that as someone who did the exact same thing.
Right. Did you sleep and then wake up to watch it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I didn't do that. I was up sorting comics. I look at the clock. Suddenly it's 2:05 in the morning. And I was like, well, I could go to sleep now, or I could sort more comics for another 55 minutes, then watch Moon Knight episode 3, and then go to bed. And I walked over to the fridge. I got myself some water and a snack, and I made that happen, which was a terrible idea.
A wonderful, terrible idea.
Yes. Yeah. Not a lot of talk in the chat tonight. If anyone has any input on this episode, if you're in here, we got 6 people in the room right now, so a couple people lurking about. If you have any input on the episode, what you thought of it, on a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever you want to do, or if you have some theories, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll pull them up and discuss them. But yeah, while we wait for that, Jim, what do you think about going forward from this episode?
I think if not next episode, then definitely by episode 5, we're going to see something from Jake Lockley's point of view.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's an Easter egg or an end credit sequence at the end of next episode.
So if I remember correctly, there was an end credit on episode 4 of Wanda. Was it WandaVision?
It wasn't 4, but it was like 7 out of 9, I think. 7 or 8.
WandaVision was
the
9
end.
Episodes? Which
I think so. Yeah, because they had, the I Love Lucy episode.
Yeah, you're right.
The Witched episode, the Brady Bunch, the Family Ties, Malcolm in the Middle.
There was one show that I remember. It specifically was episode 4 that had the
Loki.
Maybe it was episode 4 of Loki. Oh, Dr. Frankenstein in the chat. Shelby, give us your opinion. You just watched the episode with me as I rewatched it for the second time. Her first time watching it. She can give us her opinion right now in the chat. What did you think? Any ideas? And this is coming from someone who's not super into the comics, more just watches the movies and the shows. Doesn't really have a lot of background on Moon Knight. Not that many comic people really have that much of a background on Moon Knight. Not a very popular character, at this time. I have many opinions. Yeah, you do. So I think going forward, I do think that. I think that we're going to see that third personality really break free next episode. Maybe in the end credit scene, if there is one, but definitely in the main part. If they don't wait till the end credit scene, it will definitely be in the main part. I think there was too much, reference to it in this episode. Like they made it very obvious. Where previously it's been kind of like really undercover.
You have to
really
look for it.
things. Exactly. They made it just blatantly obvious at this point. So I think they'll spring it on us next time. We still see halfway through no crossover into the MCU. What do you think we're going to?
Maybe in a post credit. What? Maybe something to do with Blade.
Okay.
Blade kind of popped in at the end of the Eternals.
Yeah.
Kind of. I think maybe that's a possibility.
Right. One thing that I really think is would be cool is at the end of the episode, either in a post-credit scene or something, we're looking at the Egyptian skyline. We've got the pyramids and everything, and maybe the sunset. Like it's beautiful. Pictures of Egypt typically are just really, really nice. Then the sky cracks open. Like we've seen it crack open a couple times now because of this whole multiverse thing going on. The multiverse open up. That could be a nice way to kind of lead into the the MCU, or specifically Multiverse of Madness, which comes out the day after the last episode airs.
You have your tickets yet?
No, I probably should do that.
I got them right away.
Yeah. I don't know. Like my area has so many movie theaters and like big ones. I doubt they're going to sell out. Like you could get tickets for No Way Home the day of. So, I'm not too concerned, but Danny says, leave it until the last episode. Maybe the end credit kind of like Shang-Chi. Yeah. I hope they do utilize the end credit scene thing. It's fun. It's such a gimmick. But it's
Wong
it's
jumps
fun.
in and
like
they do karaoke.
What's that?
Wong comes in and then Steven's doing karaoke.
Yeah, perfect. That'd be fine. No, I don't know about that, but yeah, like I think I was thinking about this earlier, and like the end credit scenes, they're really it's corny, like it's a gimmick, but it works. It gets me excited. I've watched compilations to rewatch. You can type in like every Marvel end credit scene from phase 1, phase 4, whatever you want to watch. You can watch all of them if you want. I think that is so cool that it's something that they just continue to do, and now they have 2 of them per movie.
At least.
Eventually, half the movie is going to be end credit scenes. It's going to just be like a 45-minute movie and then like 17 1 to 2 minute end credit scenes afterwards.
And the other thing too is, especially with the launch of Disney Plus, since there's such interconnectedness amongst the movies and between the movies and the TV shows, that it makes you want to go back and re-explore the characters. You watch WandaVision, and then there's, parts that you want to go back and look at in their story, or Loki, and kind of look at how he evolved, or how he was before, leading up to Avengers. And you have, Wanda included Jimmy Woo and Darcy just like disparate character, and the Rambos from the Captain Marvel film. So there are a lot of these interconnected tendrils that, you watch Endgame and then you want to watch all of them again, and that's great marketing, because it keeps those titles vibrant on their streaming platform. And also, when they air on, TNT or USA or whoever airs the old movies, it's like people who don't have Disney Plus will be like, oh, look, Captain America Civil War's on. I'll check that out for an hour. So it's just great marketing and, building this enormous brand.
Yeah. And I've been doing plenty of rewatching over the last year because Shelby missed out on a bunch of them. There were a bunch that she hadn't seen, bunch that she had seen, and also like didn't remember well enough. And so I kind of went through. We didn't watch every single movie, but we went through like the essentials, the ones that you really can't skip. And I explained.
Thor: Dark World.
What's that?
Hulk, Thor: The Dark World.
Thor: Dark World was a skip. In fact, I actually skipped Ragnarok as well. I think we watched the first Thor. I don't even actually. I think we skipped all 3 Thor movies, and I just explained that character. I
Mhm.
skipped Captain America: The First Avenger, uh, uh, Golden Age Cap stuff. Not really my thing, but
It does set
rewatching
up
it.
the
Well,
the conclusion of Endgame very, very nicely. Like the
sure,
very, very last part of Endgame.
yeah. There's some important things, but knowing Cap, you're fine.
And
Um,
if you watch Captain America, this is one of my all-time favorite films. There's a movie which I think the final sequence in First Avenger is based on, and that's it has 2 titles. It was referred to, I believe, as A Matter of Life and Death in Britain and Stairway to Heaven in the U.S.
okay.
It was a film from, I think, 1946 by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger, who were these wonderful, um, uh, you know, filmmakers who worked in British films.
Hmm.
And the story is David Niven is a fighter pilot who his plane has been hit. Everybody else in the plane is killed during World War II. And he's in communication with Kim Hunter, who most people, knowing genre films, remember her as Zira from Planet of the Apes, even though she did win an Oscar for Streetcar Named Desire. She plays this American, I guess it would be WAF, or was it anyway? She's like talking to him. She's in the service, and kind of listening to his last words,
Yeah.
and then mystically he ends up on the beach in England. No plane around him. Doesn't know how he got there.
Huh.
And it turns out it's a fantastical film that the angel who was supposed to collect him and bring him to heaven screwed up.
Dropped them.
He missed him, so he has to make amends for it. And it's really a very fanciful, fantastic film, but it's wonderfully done. And that first sequence reminds me so much of the beginning of or the very end of First Avenger.
Yeah.
And actually I had this thought that like the way that they would show how Cap reintroduces himself to Peggy is like she ends up watching that film and then she walks out of the movie theater and he's there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's
Cool.
that's my little fan fiction.
Yeah. All right, I'll pick Captain America. We're going back to Moon Knight. Pop Culture Project said, I'm wondering who Steven is leaving the messages with. I mentioned this, I think it was last week or the week before. He's leaving messages for his mom, who clearly doesn't exist because Steven doesn't really exist. And I had that theory, along the way, because we see him leave 2 messages, but we haven't seen him do that in a while. I thought that was going to be like an every episode thing, but I guess not.
He's been a little busy.
Yeah, I think that's kind of might just be more of like a little Easter egg, a little hint that Steven's not the main personality. Knowing Disney, maybe Jake shows up driving a white cab. They could make Jake the cabbie, the British. Well, it wasn't Stephen Grant was the cabbie though in the comics, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I'm wrong about that.
What was Stephen Grant's personality?
Jake was the cabbie then? I always thought it was Steven. I think I'm mixing those names up in the comics. Also, where's Frenchie? Yeah, they did a nice little Easter egg for Frenchie. I'm glad they're not trying to throw every single Moon Knight character in. They certainly Moon Knight himself is 3 characters, 4 characters, 5 if you include Khonshu. So really, I'm glad they didn't throw in too many other characters because we've got enough to worry about with the multiple personalities. But Frenchie could show up if Moon Knight continues in the MCU. You looking up that information?
Yeah. It's interesting where to connect it to the books. I was going through a collection I had picked up today, and it had A Fist of Khonshu number 3.
Okay. Not
No
2. Boo. Yeah. Which seems to me like that book, despite Arthur Harrow being, the main baddie and being awesome in this, Another book I would not be picking up right now. It's at its height. I don't think Arthur Harrow is going to go beyond the show.
No.
I think he's a great villain to go throughout the show, but I don't think he's going to transfer to the greater MCU. I think that is all going to be said and done at the end of this. Ethan Hawke is probably very expensive for Disney to retain as a character, especially, a main villain. So I don't think it's something we're going to continue to see going forward. So again, not a book that I would pick up right now, unless it's something you just want to own and read. Speaking of books, I guess I'm going to show off. And it's almost time. It's almost time to wrap this up. So I might as well do this now. If you missed my YouTube video today or my Instagram post about this, I bought a collection yesterday. Now I knew the guy had this specific book because he was trying to sell this one last week. I talked to him. I made an offer. He actually turned down the initial offer. Didn't really turn it down. More said, I want to think about it a little bit more. Give me your number. We exchanged numbers. And he said, I also have some other stuff. Maybe we can make a deal on everything. I don't really need it anymore. Well, this was the book that got me real excited. Werewolf by Night 32, the first appearance of Moon Knight. And Jim, I'm sorry. I'm booting you out for a second because this thing needs to be front and center. Werewolf by Night 32, first appearance of Moon Knight. Beautiful book. Bronze Age Grail. Really, especially now that this is MCU canon and the character is definitely gaining a lot of popularity, both from the television show and from the current run, which is great. If you're not reading the current Moon Knight run, you should be. I could not believe that I was able to pick up this book this week and for a really, really nice price. If you want to know a little bit more about what I paid for that book specifically and what was in the rest of the collection that I got, go watch my YouTube video that I just posted this morning about it. But yeah, unbelievably stoked to have this thing right here. And did you pick one up recently? You did, right?
I had one, and then I sold it at King Con. Erod picked it up, bundled it with a couple of other books. From
one member of the YouTube community to another member of the YouTube community.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, he said he wanted it for his PC, so
hey, that's what I want this for. I'm picking it up when it's hot. It's hot right now. And if Moon Knight doesn't transfer to the greater MCU, it'll probably go down not considerably because it is a pretty rare book. And it'll remain a big key as long as this doesn't, the second half of the show doesn't flop off. But it will go down. That just for sure.
And it's like, you look at some of the other bronze keys, Incredible Hulk 181 and Amazing Spider-Man 129, for instance. Those books were plentiful. Those were highly bought print books at the time with large print runs. The only thing is you have, especially with the Punisher book, you have a lot of people who want runs of Amazing Spider-Man, at least runs of the keys.
Yeah.
So not only is the Punisher collectors, but ASM collectors who both want that book. The number of people who are Werewolf by Night collectors is probably considerably smaller, and it's probably proportionate to what the number of people who were buying the book at the time compared to buying Spider-Man in 1975 or 74.
Yeah, it's a less popular run, so I'm sure less were printed. It's number 32. It's not like issue 1 or a milestone issue or an early issue that's going to have a higher print run. Think about it. The book was canceled at 43 issues. So this was 11 issues from it being canceled. It could not have had that huge of a print run. And probably a lot of these were just thrown by the wayside and forgotten. But this one ended up, and honestly, it's not bad. It's probably a 4. I think it's a 4. It's between a 3.5 and a 4.5. But anyway, I digress. Back to Moon Knight. We are at the 45-minute mark, which was kind of what we'd say on these. Jim, do you have any last-minute thoughts?
I didn't notice any QR codes hidden in this episode.
You know what? I told myself I'm going to look out for QR codes, and I watched it through twice and didn't even think about that the entire time.
And I will say, I saw a thing where the QR code in issue 1 in the museum on the wall brings you to Marvel.com and a digital copy of your friend there, Werewolf by Night 32. But it's next to a piece of glass with a display, and if you scan the reflection, it brings you to a copy of Tomb of Dracula 10, the first appearance of Blade.
Which is interesting. Is that an Easter egg or is that a hint?
I think both.
Sure. I mean, it certainly is an Easter egg.
Why would you choose that book? Because we know the Blade's going to be around, and
right.
That kind of supernatural horror element of the MCU would blend pretty nicely.
What I think that might mean is that those two are going to meet up soon. Probably, I would say the Halloween special. I could see both of those characters being in the Halloween special in some capacity.
But they would have to sign Oscar Isaac to another, a new contract.
Yes, he needs to.
I think he's in a great bargaining position.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very popular actor at the height of his career. Working the most lucrative film franchise the most lucrative film franchise ever. I think really, as far as box office goes, it's crushing. There's like out of the top 10 movies of all time, how many Marvel movies are there now? A couple.
7 or something.
Something like that. So, yeah, I mean, I think that I hope that he stays around. I hope that they're able to work something out. But yes, he does have a very nice bargaining chip there. Right. I'm looking forward to the rest of the show. And I'm also looking forward, fingers crossed, to more Moon Knight in the future. Meeting up with other characters, seeing him interact with other people. I'd really extend, in his different capacities, in as Mark Spector, as Steven, as Jake, as whoever it may be.
Right.
What do you got going on, Jim? What do you got going on for your channel? I'm
doing tomorrow's video. We do videos on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Tomorrow's video will be an unboxing, which I'm going to be filming like after we're done here, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Big Silver Age Grail.
I can attest. This is, in fact, one of the biggest books of the Silver Age, hands down. Would make every Silver Age top 10 list without a doubt. You don't want to miss this unboxing. What's that?
Top five, probably.
Yes, I think most people's, and I'm even talking all publishers too. I'm not going to even say what publisher it is because I don't want to give anything away. But watch Jim's video tomorrow. You're just unboxing one book, correct?
I think so. Yeah, that's all I have at hand.
If I remember correctly, you think you know the grade, but you're not sure, correct?
Yeah, it's not high grade, but it's a great book,
but it's not incomplete. So
right, I just hope it's graded.
Right, we had some issue with that last week.
And then on Monday, I'm going to be dipping my toe into the Whatnot waters, doing my first sale. Mm-hmm. I already have it scheduled, and you can go on there if you follow me on Whatnot, Bronzeville_comics. I've started to populate the stream with books that will be available. Dollar Start auctions. It's quite a wide range of different types of books. Not too much modern, but some 2000s, some 2000 variant covers, some Copper Age. There's might even be some Bronze Age in there, and there'll be a couple of giveaways. And cool. Also, which I've been neglected to mention, is I do have an eBay store. So I think it can be reached by just going to Bronzeville. Is it _comics? I'll have to figure that out. eBay.
Check out Jim's eBay store. Also, guys, if you don't know this, on Whatnot, you can actually bookmark shows that have been listed. So if you're not following Jim, go follow him. And while you're on his page, bookmark that show and then take a look at the inventory that he's uploaded already. Not only can you set alerts for yourself when a book goes up and is, it'll kind of ping you and let you know, hey, this book is up for auction right now. Your time to bid, but you can also pre-bid on things. If you have, say there's a book you want, you're willing to spend up to $10 on it, you can put a pre-bid in of $10 and it'll bid in dollar increments up to that point for you.
Yeah, it's Bronzeville_comics.
There we
on
go.
eBay store as well.
_comics. Cool. All right. Anything else, Jim?
Nope. I need
All
some
right.
rest.
Sounds good. So definitely an interesting episode. I'm very much looking forward to the next one. And catch us next week on Jim's channel, Bronzeville_comics. Very important to add that underscore in there so you don't end up somewhere else. We'll be on his channel, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll
Daylight.
discuss episode 4. And I think, we're getting into the second half at that point. We're going to have a lot more to talk about, a lot more, action, a lot more possible spoilers or whatever you want to call them, reveals. So looking forward to that. All right. Thank you guys for watching this. And until next time, wait, where are you?
Enjoy your comics.
There we go. And turn the page, wash your hands. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you